everybody! Hey, I have a cameraman today. I just got home. We went to Lordco, which is BC owned, and I bought a traffic cone, and this is how it looks. Now Jack is going to cut off this bottom piece and put some holes the size of this in it, and then it'll be ready for painting. So that's it for today. See you when I'm ready to sand it. Hi everybody, it's the ongoing traffic cone project, and if you can see what it's doing, it's snowing outside. I just shoveled the trails in the back, and Jack is still working out on the front. So the traffic cone is in its thing, but it's still red, and I don't want it red. So like the other ones, I'll be painting it. So Jack cut the bottom off, which was on here. Cut that off. He wants it. I don't know what he's going to do with it, but he always finds a use for something. So there it is. And he drilled some nice big holes. And it's all sanded, because he just put it on. I usually sand it myself, but he put it on a sander in the shop. So the next part of this is that I mixed up, quite some time ago. I forget what I was doing, but I got about 2 cans of this dry gesso mixture, and it's cheaper, and I got it out of grad so it was really cheap. I have good quality stuff I use for my paintings, but it's golden, and I don't like to use it because it's like $16 for half this size. And the reason I don't use the cheap stuff is it tends to be a little bumpy, but for this, it won't matter. I can sand it a bit before I paint it, so. I didn't do anything with it. It's all mixed in there. So sometimes when I'm doing this, I put tape inside over the hole so it doesn't run in. But this is pretty thick. And what this gesso does, it really does help the paint stick when I put it on. So it makes a better project when you're finished. And the reason I'm doing this, and there's not an orchid going in it until I find the right orchid. And it's going to have to be a Gigantica hybrid, no name, but with that in its history, or a big lip, if I can find another one. And around here, there is nothing. We never see dendrobiums. We never see anything but hybrid fells. So that's just what it's like. So this is going to go all on. And it's easy. And once that's on, and I decide on my design, then I'm set to go, because I want to make sure that when I find an orchid that it has a pot ready for it. I've had good success with these because my other ones, they're both in spike. They grow very hardy. Now the one over here is the one I had to put in the bathtub because it grows so many roots, and they clung to they went out the holes and clung, and I did end up cutting them off, and it shocked it, but it just started growing more. And I think next time, because my bark is medium-sized pieces and smaller, I think I'm going to try and next time it gets repotted, just dump out what I can dump out and put new in. So that won't be for 2 or 3 years, so. Because it didn't like it, but it's one of those orchids that just wants to keep going, and they are like that. Sometimes you get one and it just wants to grow. So I'll be doing this, and I'll see you back again when I am ready to paint. And I'm thinking about, I upholstered all these chairs, and I'm thinking I might start with a blackish, kind of black, dark green background, and then put the leaves or orchids on, something like the chairs. So better not make too much mess. So that's it for now, and we'll see you when I'm ready to do that. Hi everybody, different day, different layer. I have the gesso on and it's all dry. So I plan to make it with a blackish, greenish background, similar to what's on these chairs. So it's going to be in this room. I thought, oh, that'll be kind of fun. So, you know, sometimes the addiction with orchids goes to addiction with pots too. I've had so much luck with these that I will continue. So I have some, this is just cheap latex paint that you can get at Walmart. And I'm putting the black on. And I will put bits of green because I don't want it to be too black. Don't throw that because it'll get green and black. Those were Maggie's toys flying by, and you know, I don't think Maggie threw them. Always. So let's try if we just put a little bit of green, but I don't want a lot because there will be colors going over this, but sometimes you just don't want it to be red black. But this is going to be the background color. So, and this was actually black, it's called museum paint, but it wasn't, in fact, well, actually it wasn't cheap, it was $8. It was from, but these are cheap dollar store ones here. So I have some brighter green if I decide to use that. So we've been really busy. People are probably wondering where I've been, what I've been doing. We started moving things around. So behind me here, that's where we used to keep our music. It's a big, like 300 or 400 disc CD player. And we decided to move it, you know. Just needed a little bit, you know, when you have an orchid addiction, you always have to make more room for them. So I'm making room for the one that I'm dreaming about. Because they say that, an example of somebody that's really addicted, well, they'll go shopping and there'll be all these orchids and they can't leave without getting one. No matter where they are, they can't go without, then that's an addiction. So I breathed a sigh of relief because I thought, oh, well, then I'm not addicted. All's fine. Continue. Continue. So I'm dreaming of my either Gigantica orchid for this or a nice big lip. But dreaming it is, but hopefully if the weather is better next week, because last time I think I did this, it was snowing. And it snowed and we shoveled and it snowed and we shoveled and got our exercise. So if next week, because this week's kind of busy, if next week is looking weather-wise good, because we just have a little vibe, it's a small car and it's getting old, and you know, it's a big trip for that car. So, you know, hour and a half or two drive, and we'll go to Vernon, more like an hour and a half, but you know, when we go, we like stop here and stop there, you know, all the little places we haven't been for years because we don't leave home that often. And so anyway, I'm hoping that we get to do that, and one of the places we go is carrying something that I want, because I'm not addicted. I'm after. It's like, you know, men go hunting. My brother goes hunting, and Rosemary's other half goes hunting, and they're on the hunt for a deer or a moose or, you know, something like that. And and when we go hunting, we're looking for orchids, which is much a better thing, because you know, they really love it like we love this, but you know, you get to, oh, you know, we're kind of like, make these beautiful flowers to attract bugs, right? And the bugs pollinate them, and nature goes on as it should. So we're kind of like those bugs, and we're zooming in on one, and we're zooming in on another, and go, oh, look at this one, or, you know, well, I don't know, somehow us orchid lovers, we get mesmerized the same as the bugs do, and we get totally into it, and then part of the attraction is we not only want the orchid, then we have the desire to learn all about it, and then you try something new, or you try your old familiar, but there's always education. There's so many places to go, like my video, other videos, I go to lots. And they're not necessarily people that grow like I do. It's just been Phalaenopsis from the grocery store mostly. And it's just what I could get. And I got not addicted, because the book said, no, the book said if you can go somewhere, and I do often, sometimes I'll look at them and I'll think, no, mine are nicer than those, or I've got that one. No, I want something different. So we keep looking. But you know, some people takes over one room, then it takes over another room, and then pretty soon you gotta put on a room. Well, I want to live with my orchids, so I want, every morning I get up and I go, okay, check on them all. Before I do anything, I check on them all, open the blinds. So it's all enjoyable, whether you're looking up and learning things about them, or talking to other people that love them. It's very, well, for many years people have been attracted. I mean, there's the orchid hunters, but you know, at least we get them from the store. We're not taking them from a jungle somewhere. You don't have to fight all those bugs and jungle water and snakes. Just go down to the store, and there they are. Yeah. And it's fun sharing it with somebody. So, I mean, I've learned along the way. I've learned things that are better. And one of the biggest thing is repot it. Yeah, repot it real quick, soon as you can. But soak that bark for at least 3 days. Put a little calcium in, maybe a quarter teaspoon in a gallon, and maybe a quarter teaspoon of seaweed extract. And let that soak like that, and then use that water. Soak the orchid in it a bit and use that water after. So it's all things we've learned. I mean, at first I didn't do that. I've still got some that have their original limpy leaves, and can't show you that right now, but I do. So one day, I guess of old age, that leaves will fall off, but now I'm hoping I've learned enough. The big lip, it never suffered that much when I did that. In fact, it's spiking. So I was counting. I went around and counted. I've only got 6 orchids that aren't spiking, and I have over 30. So it, you know, never mind the poinsettias. It's going to be beautiful with orchids around here. Now, this is looking a little bit like a witch's hat, but it won't be. It won't be. This is the base color, and then when this is dry, that's when I get to have more fun, because I'll put leaves and flowers and just, you know, add some color. So this is just the background, and I just about got it. I actually put on rubber gloves to do this because I can get messy, and it does wash off. And this is just a piece of plastic board that somebody must have had pictures on. In behind those plastics that you peel back, and they must have had some pictures under it, and they were at the free bin. And you go to a garage sale, there's quite often free stuff. And I thought, well, that's perfect. You know, if I'm out here doing something, or if I'm doing something messy, I can put it down, and one day when it's wore out, then I will throw it away. So what happens now, we've got the gesso underneath, and what happens now is you have to let it dry because you want the colors to stick good. So I'll just kind of use up the rest of the paint I got here. There. So then I want to make sure to get this done so that when I do find my orchid, I'll be so happy. You have no idea how happy I'll be. Like, it's so exciting. I watch them all every day. Every day I look and see, talk to them, and they love our breath, so I make sure I breathe on them. And I'm not kissing them yet. But yeah, I'm addicted. In a small way, not a big way, because we could still get from room to room. But when when I win the lottery, and there's going to be 2 little doors here where we walk out into this big room we're going to add on. It's going to be all done in cement floor and cement troughs, so that in those troughs I can have my fruit trees, so we don't have to color the greenhouse. So on the hot west side will be the fruit trees, and on the east side will be the orchids, and some can hang and some can be on stands in the trough, and I can just go by with water, which will be out there. And it's going to be our, like, sit and read, all windows, nice and bright, sit and read room, and enjoy our plants. And then as they come in flower, I can bring them in here. I can still move them around, because just remember, when your orchids come in bloom, they will spike faster and come into bud faster and grow faster with heat and light. So if they're getting lots of light, their spike's going to grow quicker. If they're getting warmth too, it's going to grow. But once we've got our flowers out, then you can move them to a cooler spot and just let them enjoy that. So that's it until the next more decorative stage. And yes, it looks a little bit like a witch's hat, but it won't. I have plans. So I did get dirty. I have to turn it off. And thanks for joining me. And there's probably the next video will be the last one before it's finished. So hopefully everybody's saying, "Where are you, Carolyn?" Okay. Thank you. See you again. Bye for now. Better turn this